I know. Do you know what the best feeling in the world is?
Oh, is it, when you finally beat a boss after messing up loads of times?
I mean, that's a good one.
Or actually, when you unlock a new skin in a game without having to buy it?
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, actually, what about when you blue shell someone last second and then you win the race?
I mean, they are all good options.
Well, it's not one of them.
It's not one of them. They're good options, but I think it's when you've got your new game loaded up, you are ready to go, you're getting locked in, but you've got a chocolatey friend.
Hey, now we're talking,
Absolutely.
bro.
They are there, ready to give you a little power up, a little energy boost before you get going.
Especially if it's a lovely milk chocolate slab between two crisp biscuits.
You know the one, I know. It makes the world's most satisfying snap when you bite into it. It's got to be a pickup bar.
Pick up. Oh, yeah. Oh, are you going for the OG pickup? You know, the one with the blue box?
Yeah, this blue box.
That blue box?
Yeah, this is really good. I mean, I'm also dabbling with the salted caramel as well.
Okay.
There are loads of different flavors out there. Whichever one you go for, there is no better snack for when you're getting ready to get into a big gameplay session, about to pick up your controller and get into it.
Yeah, and they're super easy to eat as well. No chocolatey fingers over the controllers. Nuh-uh. And that's thanks to the two crisp biscuits hugging the chocolatey slab.
Nobody wants chocolate marks on their controllers, do they? Absolutely not. You can find out more by just searching for Pickup on your phone.
Pick up and go.
Now, I know you can listen to podcasts all over the world at any time of the year, so this might not necessarily apply to you right now, but where we are, the nights are drawing in, it's getting colder, the rain and the wind is picking up, and I don't know about you, but when it gets to that time of year, there is nothing better than getting a hot cup of tea, curling up on the sofa under a blanket, having a little snack, recently a pickup bar, and booting up your favourite game. That's the feeling you're hopefully going to get as we load up the autosave and get cracking with today's episode of Press X. To continue, I'm Steffan Powell, and normally at this point, I would introduce my co-host, Einel Tomlinson. But alas, this week, he's on a TV set being a brilliant actor and doing big boy stuff. So I'm flying solo. However, I might be losing a limb, but we have got two guests who know Press X inside out. They've been with us on this journey from the very, very beginning. So we're in safe hands with journalist and presenter Shay Thompson. Hello, Shay.
It's been a while. It's good to be back, though.
Actually. Yeah, it's lovely to have you back, holding the fort. And also from our KG video, it's my fellow Welshman, Gav Murphy. Hello, Gav.
Hello. Which limb would you like me to be of yours if you're missing a limb?
Probably left arm.
Left arm?
Because then right arm, you can still play mobile games.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean? If you're playing a one touch, and you can use a mouse.
Fine. Good. I will happily step in
there
as your non-dominant arm. Thank you.
It's quite a morbid thought to kick off the podcast, but here we are, Shay. What can you do? So we were just chatting before we started recording. We would have done this for the first time in 2020.
No.
That's wild.
I know.
Oh my
bonkers,
God.
Man.
And we're still friends. So that's good.
That's good.
Somehow.
Yeah.
God.
And it's not for the money, I know that.
It's absolutely not for the cash. We must be nice people or something. I'm not sure.
I'm still waiting for my pickup bars. Where's my?
I've actually got a bunch. Hey, look, I've got loads here because
They look awesome.
I'm packing them up to give away to our competition winners. Which, by the way, there's another one coming up later on. So if you want to win some of these, and just get in the Discord.
Is it like insider trading if I enter?
You'd be treated like everybody else, Gav. We film it all to make sure that it's above board. I'm
not above doing that.
For free things, absolutely. Yeah. I think so.
In case you're wondering why I've just flashed a bunch of chocolate boxes in your face if you're watching us on YouTube, well, it's because Press X is proudly sponsored by Pickup. Now, some people say it's a chocolate biscuit bar. Others say that it's a biscuit with chocolate. We say it doesn't really matter because it tastes delicious, and also it helps you release tension. You can make the most of those unpredictable moments that gaming throws at you. So we're chuffed to be working with the Pickup team. And if Einel were here, he would say at this point, big up Pickup. So yes, absolutely. So thank you very much to them. Right, let's kick off then with some unpopular opinions. Now, what do you make of this then, Shay? Commander Jace. I've got a feeling you might have some thoughts on this, Shay. Commander Jace has been on in the Discord. There's a link, by the way, in the description below if you want to join in. He says, I think my biggest unpopular opinion is that I don't care for Nintendo's output. I didn't grow up with it. Says Commander Jace. So I've got no nostalgic connection with any of their games or their consoles, and my Switch has basically been a paperweight for most of my time owning it.
Okay. You know what? I don't have like an allegiance to any one publisher, but you're doing yourself a disservice. Come on. The pandemic, Animal Crossing, that got us through it. You know, Zelda, hello? I don't really care for Breath of the Wild, we know that, but like old school Zelda? Ocarina of Time, one of the greatest games of all time. Like, why would you rid yourself of pure enjoyment?
But maybe
Can't get on board with that.
Just to play devil's advocate here, and to sort of, I wonder if this is what Jace is coming from, Gav. If Jace is into more mature games where you like shoot things, stab things, blow things up, then then the plumber's not for you.
Yeah, I think reducing Nintendo's output though to like purely the sort of appeal of their output purely down to nostalgia is actually quite reductive, because I feel like even if you're into things where people die and get shot and things like that, like you can't, like when you play a Nintendo game, there are systems in play there and there are ideas happening in those games that do not happen anywhere else. Nintendo are the best at coming up with game mechanics, and they'll come up with a game mechanic that will absolutely tear your mind apart, and they'll use it for a level and a half and then get rid of it. They can just do that because their ideas are just so brilliant. So yeah, I think it's odd to think I really don't hold on to nostalgia stuff really, but like I'm not into Nintendo stuff just because I've always been into Nintendo stuff. I'm into it because it's just really good.
Yeah, I think for me, Jace, I can see like if people are, feel it's a bit childlike or whatever, or can't get into that headspace. I just think it just spark joy. They're just bright and fun and easy to play and perfect. Like Shay, you were talking about Animal Crossing there. Amazing mindfulness games for me. When life gets a bit much, just whack Mario Kart on or whatever and just away you go. Exactly.
Like, even though if I'm not playing like super regularly now, Animal Crossing still got a good 300 hours from me, So there's a lot to sink your teeth into. I think that's quite dismissive, and I'm shocked to hear that.
Well, shocked. A good and popular opinion, though, Jess. Let's go in. I tell you what looks good. Have you seen that new Pokemon Animal Crossing thing? The game is basically going to be Animal Crossing, but with Pokemon. That's coming out.
Perfect.
Next year. Thank you very much. More of that, please. But Commander Jace, thank you very much for your unpopular opinion. You can do that. Get into the Discord and share your thoughts. And then regular unpopular opinion sharer, Mongoose, has been on to say... I think there should be a year where we have no new video game releases, actually. No excuse then not to play what we have been focusing on our backlogs instead of buying the next shiny new experience and leaving games half played, games left to rot. It also means the developers could take more time over what's in develop, potentially avoiding crunch. I love the thought of someone somewhere. Who was the gaming person that could just turn and say, right, no.
Yeah, no more games. That's it now.
Stop.
We're done for a bit.
I can get behind that, honestly. My Steam backlog is like 300 games plus deep. So many things that I just haven't touched. I'm like, ugh. So there's never any time. So I can get behind that. Maybe they need like to make a coalition, the big three publishers, and get litigious with it.
Just say, look, GTA's out here next year, lads.
That's it. That's all you need.
No
more games.
Yeah, we're taking
next
a break.
Year.
Yeah. You'll be fine till 2027. I can see that. So look, we love your unpopular opinions. They get us going. It's fantastic. Make sure you suggest yours. Get in the Discord. The link is in the description below. And I mean, it's easy enough to find it, get involved, and be part of the conversation. Right. Okay. Let's get into things then by getting into some trivia. Now you can submit your trivia ideas to the team. Also in the Discord, you can tell there's a bit of a theme running throughout the podcast. There's a secret channel that only the producers can see, and you can put your questions in there. Now, to say this week's question, we've got a special guest.
Ooh.
Yeah, so let's have a listen to this week's trivia question.
Who wants to be a continuaire?
Alright, it's trivia time. Before the fourth game in their series was released the following December, which video game character delivered the ball to the pitch before Manchester City's first match of the season in August 1999 to celebrate the game's publisher becoming the club's new shirt sponsor? Okay, that question again. Before the fourth game in their series was released the following December, Which video game character delivered the ball to the pitch before Manchester City's first match of the season in August 1999 to celebrate the game's publisher becoming the club's new shirt sponsor?
I tell you what, if it doesn't work out for Einan as an actor or, podcaster, comedian, then quiz show host.
Oh, 1,000%.
Who sponsored Man City? Did Sega sponsored someone? So was it like Sonic 4 or 1999?
I know this, by the way. I know it.
You?
And I feel so smug. When I read this question, I was like, I think I know it.
Who sponsored Man City? Who did Dreamcast sponsor? Dreamcast sponsored someone.
Arsenal.
Okay, it's not them.
I'm just going to get the leaderboard up, by the way, just so that you know where you
no.
are. So top of the leaderboard, 2 out of 2 is Benedict Townsend. Granted, he's only had to answer 2 questions, but he's got a 100% record so far. Then Keza McDonald, 3 out of 5, 60%.
Wow.
Imogen Mellors on with us last week. She's got 50% right. She only had to answer 2, to be fair.
Yeah.
Now, Shay, you got 2 out of 6 right. So you're on 33%. Gav, currently you have 0 out of 2.
None. I think what I've not only done.
You've only done 2. You've only done 2 questions.
I've only ever done. I don't even know.
Yeah, you've had hard questions, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Unless, were they sponsored by IDOS or was it Tomb Raider?
I couldn't possibly confirm nor deny. It's entirely up to you if you want to guess that.
I'm going to guess that.
My mind
Were they sponsored by
immediately
IDOS?
went.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I went Sonic, Sega.
Yeah.
That's where my mind went. But the thing is, this is rigged. You've hit my blind spot, which is sports. If you know anything about me, I don't care about sports at all. So this is pretty bad for me. Yeah.
I'm just running through football who I know that, and it was just like Nintendo sponsored Fiorentina. Dreamcast sponsored Arsenal. I think IDOS sponsored Man City. So would that have been who's IDOS? Is it Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
So it's Lara Croft.
I'm saying Lara Croft, IDOS. I think IDOS sponsored Man City last. So it was either, and the big games of the time were Lara Croft or that Commanders PC game. You know, the like stealth game. It's not going to be. They're not going to bring an army fella out, are they?
No.
Who's not famous. So I'm saying Lara Croft, but I can't imagine. What did
I'm saying Lara Croft first.
Well, no, I knew the answer. I knew the answer.
I feel like in 1999 as well, they would bring Lara Croft out for anything. Like she was on the cover of FHM and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure it wasn't tasteful, whatever it is coming out.
I'm sure it's aged horrendously. So, Shay, are you going to have a punt at anything, or are you still? What are you thinking? You can come back to it later.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let it percolate. Now, you might have seen this. Nintendo, talking of big Nintendo theme early on here, announced that the Virtual Boy is making a return in a sort of VR headset console of the 90s that flopped. Yeah. If you don't know what the Virtual Boy was. Well, they're kind of redoing it in a way. So the original was expensive, cumbersome, and had a weird red sort of monochrome display thing, and it didn't sell very well. In fact, I think it's the worst ever selling console.
It looks like, because I've used one, and it basically feels and looks like, you know, when you go to the opticians and they make you put your chin on that thing and they say, look at the balloon. It looks like that, and the graphics aren't as good as the balloon. But that's how it feels. Like I feel like there's like a chin strap to it.
I mean, you're a Nintendo fan, Shay. Did you like the Virtual Boy, despite it sort of not being especially successful?
I liked what it represented, which was like this kind of weirdly optimistic time for tech, where it was kind of like, we're just going to try a bunch of things and see what happens. A lot of them were flops like this, but, you know, I can't blame them for trying. My thing is, like, why are you bringing this out now? It didn't sell well, and everyone was kind of just like... And like VR also hasn't taken off in the way that people seem to think it's going to. So
no, it just seems like a strange move for Nintendo. So basically, this would be, if you don't know what it is, it's going to be like a headset that's compatible with your Switch, and there's going to be some specific titles for it, I think 14 or something like that in the first instance that aren't out yet. But I just think because of I don't think the association with a Virtual Boy is necessarily a positive thing. No. I can see what they're doing, like tapping into nostalgia is kind of a big deal in that market. But people remember this for being a bit crap. So I don't get that side of it.
I think sometimes at Nintendo, like, you know, earlier I was saying about, you know, them coming up with these like amazing ideas and things like that. I think for every amazing idea they come up with, they also do have that one sort of distant cousin who's like, yeah, I've got this idea. It's going to be a piano, but it's made out of cardboard, and it's going to cost absolutely loads. So about that, they're like, Yeah, I guess. Like, if you want, like, we can't really argue with him because he also made Mario Galaxy. So, yeah, I guess, mate. Go on.
Yeah, you carry on, do what you want.
Yeah.
The price point is high as well. I'm just trying to.
Is it?
I'm just trying to dig it out now. Actually,
But then I guess, like, if you put the price point high, there are absolute, like, maniacs that will just buy anything. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so I think if you put the price point high, you go, right, we might not sell a lot of these, but we will sell out.
Yeah, actually, there's only speculation on the price point at the moment, but the what I was reading was that the original Virtual Boy cost a fortune, and that's where the association was. Because I remember, you know, when they brought out all those cardboard accessories for the Switch that you could like, you could build it. That was I got that.
Did you?
I got it. Yeah, like I wouldn't. It wasn't for me, but like if I was a 10-year-old, I could see myself getting into that. Which
if I was a 10-year-old, I could see myself breaking that.
Yeah.
And getting in trouble and being like, "Are you joking? We just spent 250 quid on ripped cardboard." Like, absolutely not.
Fine. I just thought that was a better way of doing it because you could do VR with that.
And I wondered there was something in that, wasn't there? Yeah.
But I don't know about this. But look, Nintendo often prove us wrong, don't they, Shay?
Yeah, that's the thing. I like that they've got the time and money and energy to be silly, because I think you need to be silly because games are silly. And I think if you're being a bit serious about it, then I don't see the point. They're toys. There's literally, we play in toys, we work in toys. Like, I think people do forget that, I think.
Yeah. My thing is, do they have time to be silly? There's barely any games on the Switch 2. This feels like a big distraction from like the fact there's only like 3 things to play on the Switch 2 at the moment.
I was looking at this the other day, like, because when you said I was doing this podcast, I was like, what have I actually played? And I was like, my most played game on the Switch 2 is Yakuza 0, which is like, I think it's like 10 years old.
I'm replaying A Golf Story on my Nintendo Switch 2, which is a game that came out for the Switch. Other than Mario Kart, I take Shay's. I think, just lads. How about some new games? Maybe. Just a thought, just some games. But they know. I mean,
Chance?
Yeah. So look, let us know what you think of the return of the Virtual Boy. Maybe you're one of the few people that had the original. Maybe you've bought it in like a car boot or something and you've got it as a prized possession. Do you think it's going to be a paperweight? Your thoughts? Because we are quite down on VR gaming on Press X, broadly speaking.
Are you?
I think so. I think
scared of the future.
Maybe.
Makes me sick, to be quite honest. Like, it literally physically makes me ill. I discovered I have like really bad motion sickness because of VR. So
I've only ever had one experience where I really loved it. And I think me and Gav, we've spoken about this before, which was that Star Trek game where you play different bits of shit.
That's fantastic.
That was fun.
But also, I think I played like, I know it's Tetris, but Tetris Effect is genuinely transformative because it's just Tetris happening past your face. And like the Batman game on PSVR, that was outstanding as well.
Was it? Were you were like just being like Sherlock Holmes but dressed as Batman?
Yeah. There's quite a lot of I don't want to say dark web things, but there's quite a lot of like independent things you can get where let me say, turn the safety protocols off on those, and you will be having like, sometimes I don't want to come out of there because it's just not the same. It's not the same in the real world.
I don't know what. Well, you make of that what you will, and we'll move swiftly on to our next topic, which is actually about gaming being good for your mental health, and maybe those games are actually
fantastic.
They really help me out.
Oh, I can show you some apps.
Now, the reason we're talking about this is because research has suggested this just come out in the last couple of weeks that playing video games is good for your mental health. And a lot of us knew this already, but it's always interesting when you read it in the mainstream press, isn't it? This research is suggesting that it boosts your mood more than other activities like reading, cooking, or listening to music, all because of the immersive nature of games. But what's interesting about this research is that it recommends you match the game you play to your mood, which is not something that I've seen like overtly said before. I think it kind of like makes sense. So, if you're tired or bored, you want to play something high energy. If you're nervous or stressed, you play something chilled. Sometimes you should play on your own if you need a bit of solitude, or you don't always have to play online or whatever. So have you turned to that, Shay, to games to sort of help you out of places before? And have you done that deliberately, or has it sort of happened by accident?
Yeah, I think like sometimes when I need something like really familiar, I'll go back to like the Mass Effect series because that's a trilogy I've played like so many times, like probably like over 20 times. So yeah, I think maybe subconsciously I've been doing that. Like when I need something comforting, I go to something familiar that I know that I can, predict, as opposed to like a new gaming experience where I don't know what's going to turn around that corner. And that's like kind of terrifying when I'm stressed out. So
yeah. And other than your VR experiences, Gav, I know you play a lot with, used to do your Sea of Thieves crew, didn't you? I can remember that was a big thing for you at one point.
Sea of Thieves was really big during the pandemic and that. But I think like solo stuff, I don't think I've ever been as sort of down as, but then also lifted as I was by Red Dead 2. Like, I think I remember at one point, during the low points of pandemic, not being able to sleep because I was so depressed, and then whacking on Red Dead 2. I think at one point I played Red Dead 2 for about 20 hours straight. Not great. But like by the end of it, when it came out of it, I felt like I was on a different planet. And then I think it's so contemplative, and it gave me time to think a bit more. I think, and I was just walking around collecting flowers for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Just walking through the towns, being, walking at the pace of a person, and like actually just almost like role playing as an actual cowboy, really. And that did kind of help. But I remember just like logging on with mates as well, and like just sitting around a campfire in Red Dead 2 having a beer. Like that was really funny, and really sort of got us through quite a lot. That was good.
I think for like solo play, I think it's about a form of escapism that is different to other mediums, right? Like, because I know I like reading books. Books can take you off into another place. So can good TV shows or whatever. But there's something about feeling like you are being someone else, almost like you have a break from your own brain for a little bit. Am I making sense? Like, I'm not thinking like me anymore. I'm now Commander Shepard, or I'm Arthur Morgan, or I'm, Kratos, or whatever. You are actually that thing, or that person. Yeah,
definitely. I think with Red Dead 2 as well. I mean, I played it for like a whole week where all I did was just pretend to be Jigsaw, like the serial killer Jigsaw. So what I would do was like find...
There's some therapists listening to this, Gav, thinking they would love to get you in a room.
I would devise these basically situations where I would find two people that would try to rob me. So I would walk around trying to get robbed, and then tie two lads up who were robbing me. And then I would take them to this one point that I found in the map where the train tracks went from 1 into 2. So you never knew which way the train was going to go. So what I would do is I would get those two lads to try to rob me. I would put them one on one set of the tracks, one on the other, wait for the train to come, and then whoever...
Let nature decide.
Let nature decide who was getting punished.
And Shay, you were playing Animal Crossing at this time, right?
Yeah. I was picking some fruit and trying to make some money. Yeah, catching bugs. I think also like there's a thing of like these sorts of games giving you a sense of purpose. Sometimes your purpose is becoming a serial killer for a little bit, and sometimes it's like running your own island. But like when you do feel a bit like aimless and like depressed or whatever, like having that sense of purpose, like driving, just having like a task that you're working towards, like just really helps me, I think.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't always have to be, because obviously we know, we don't, it's not obviously at all, but online playing with mates and have a community of mates, if you're like in a guild of World of Warcraft, or for me, we talked a lot about Warzone in lockdown and having a WhatsApp group that was popping off and people coming online at the same time to play together, and all that stuff still happens. But I think solo play is often overlooked when it comes to this, when we talk about gaming and mental health, because it can be seen as you are isolating yourself or whatever. But sometimes it's just nice. I love playing golf games if I need to chill, because you can just hear the sounds of birds singing and the ball and the club swishing and you hitting the ball, and the commentators that are very American and relaxing and calm.
What was that golf game that you got me onto? On the phone.
The
phone one.
A coffee golf.
Was it coffee golf, or was there another one as well? It was like really amazingly animated as well. It was like the art style was fantastic. But I was obsessed with that.
There's coffee. There's loads of. There's something about. So I find that very therapeutic, because it's like almost being in nature without actually being in nature. I get the same sort of feel from it. So I'm not surprised by this, but I think it is interesting that we can talk about matching your games with your mood, because sometimes you do want to you just want to blow stuff up in Call of Duty for me. Like, I just need to throw grenades at things and let them go kaboom.
It wasn't a golf game. It was subpar pool. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I mean, golf and it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah. Meditative.
Balls in hole.
Quite. Just like those VR games you were playing earlier. So, what games do you play on your own to chill out, to deal with you, to have a bit of to help your mental health, to have a bit of a break or whatever? Then share them with us. Let us know what you think. What are the games out there you play on your own just to help you reset and stuff? I'd love to know, because the more that are out there, like Mini Motorways is really good as well. I found that, I talked about that before, being quite meditative. But yeah, let us know. And if you play Red Dead 2 like Gav, also feel free to share that with us if you'd like to. You're more than welcome. Just get involved in the Discord. Now, you're going to review a game for us very soon, Shay. And it's an indie game, so I'm not going to give it away soon. We have spent the last 10 minutes before we started recording deciding how we say the name of the game, so it's a bit of a giveaway. But we noticed when we were chatting about what Shay was going to review for us this week that we've been talking a lot about indie games on the podcast recently. So we've been talking about Expedition 33, Blueprints, Hollow Knight, Date Everything, Balatro. We know that Hades 2 is coming out soon. So we kind of got us talking a lot about whether we think there's been a change in what indie games are and what they used to be sort of like the sort of rump at the end of the gaming sort of pyramid, I suppose, if you think of games that people would talk about and be interested in now. But it feels like they're sort of taking over the conversation, Gavin, actually. They're as relevant, more relevant now than the big AAA games because we don't get many of them.
I think that's where a lot of like really fun ideas are happening. I think because indie games, because they're a lot less people involved in them and like there's a lot less at stake with them, they can maybe take bigger swings. Whereas I think like a lot of the bigger games, like they've got to really earn. I mean, games are like £70 now, and have like just millions of people, millions of man hours going into them. So I think like when you find a game that just has a really, really amazing idea at its core, and then it just keeps doing that constantly, but doing it really, really well, maybe they can take swings that bigger games can't.
Absolutely, I think you just do stuff, can you? Because you want to do it, not because there's a spreadsheet or a focus group, Shay, telling you, we should definitely do this because people have bought this game and they like it.
No, as well. And like what I've been finding, especially recently, is like with these bigger games, like you're dropping like 60, 70, sometimes 80 quid just to bounce off of it. Like there's so much that I've picked up this year thinking, this looks kind of interesting. And then like after maybe 10 hours, I'm done. And I'm like, well, it's not like I can get a refund or anything like that. Like I barely even own the game license. But yeah, I just find myself like reaching for indie games a lot more nowadays. More interesting ideas half the time, and also not as long. I don't have 60 hours every single time. Like, guys, like, respect my time, please.
Yes,
I know
preach.
It doesn't look valuable, but it is.
Yeah. Just because something's 100 hours doesn't mean it's good.
No.
So I keep saying this. But I still don't think that a lot of people who play games, like off and on, don't reach for indie games. Don't trust them. And I'm not too sure why that is. Like, I think if you like films or if you like TV shows, you will give a rogue Netflix series a go just because you're in between whatever. I don't feel like a lot of people are like, I don't know, like my mates who just play FIFA and Call of Duty or whatever, they wouldn't suddenly start playing The Rise of the Golden Idol. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's because people have finite time as well, and people who aren't just going to play everything in a similar way though. It's like I think people who just go to the cinema, there's some people who just still go to the cinema on Saturdays nights no matter what. There's still some people who will stick the telly on and watch telly, like I'm watching what's on telly. And I think it's a similar thing with video games. Is like, if you're not going to play that many games a year, what are you going to do? You're probably still going to play Call of Duty, FIFA, GTA. Like, you're still going to do that. Whereas, and also we have to remember as well, we think like this essentially so blinkered and small because like I don't know anything about that Expedition 33 but I know everybody was playing it, you know, like, and it was just like, but then if you spoke to a normal person who plays Halo and Call of Duty and FIFA and that's it, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, I'm sort of one of those people, but you go, oh yeah, have you heard of that Expedition 33? They haven't got a clue what you're talking about. Like, and I think it's a similar thing, you know?
Yeah, and I'm wondering, is this a particular games problem, Shane? Is there a way that indie developers can try and get the games to more people, or is it actually a problem with all stuff we do, whether it's movies or whatever?
I think it's a discoverability thing, because even for like the game that I'm about to talk about, when I went looking for like reviews, like it was there's not a lot out there. It wasn't a priority for like a lot of the big outlets to review. It's hard if you're not someone that plays a lot of games, like maneuvering stuff like the Xbox Game Store, like Steam, is not going to be that familiar to you. So you're not going to know what to look for and how to look for it. So I think these sorts of things have contributed to a lot of these gems getting like lost.
Yeah.
I think from the indie side, I don't know, like they've kind of been screaming into the void, like with Twitter for years, and that sort of helped with like putting more indies on people's radar. But now that like Twitter doesn't work anymore, people aren't on Blue Sky like that. Like it's just everything's lost. Everything
Also, I
gets
think
lost.
it's hard discoverability on the PlayStation Store or on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because you're also competing with all the games that came out 20 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just hard for you. How does Tunic stand out compared to...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's really hard as well. Like I worked for IGN for like 5 years, and we used to get people going, "Oh, IGN are never celebrating this game or that game." I was like, that's because there's a finite amount of time in a day. We work a 9 to 5 covering these games, and like, yeah, look, we are playing a lot of stuff, and maybe we'll cover it on a podcast or something like that. But it's like we don't have like we can spend a day, 2 days reviewing something that 500 people read, or like the sad thing is like even with this podcast, the podcast that you do that's about when GTA 6 comes out will probably be the most listened to podcast of this podcast. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's just how it is in a way.
Yeah, no, you're right. And talking of IGN, I was actually, when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about today, I had a look. They've got an article from December 2024 up, which is called the Top 100 Indie Games of All Time.
Wow.
What do you think came in at number one? There's some amazing games on you, by the way. If you're listening to this and you're one of those people that tends to lean on FIFA and Call of Duty, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're amazing games, right? Made by amazing developers.
Is it going to be like...
Check out this list, because there's some amazing titles on there for you just to have a go at, and you can get them for dead cheap now as well. Sorry.
Is it gonna be something like Super Meat Boy or indie? I'm trying to think of something. What's really indie? Oh, Journey.
Journey, is it on the list? It's not Journey.
Not Journey.
Disco Elysium?
Disco Elysium is coming in at number 5.
Okay.
A Vampire Survivors, which I had in there, is 15.
Right.
Last year, it wasn't.
No, this is last year. This is like of all time. Of all time, the article happened to come out last year.
Go on. What is it?
They've got a number 1, Return of the Obra Dinn.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah.
Which is like a black and white pirate ship sort of mystery thing.
That's on my list. I never played it.
Yeah,
But
Outer
apparently it's
Wilds
fantastic.
comes in at number 2, which is a BAFTA winner. That's very good.
That's good.
Hades, also a BAFTA winner, comes in at number 4.
Yeah.
Stardew Valley, Hollow Knight.
To be fair, I'm still Vampire. Whatever, like Vampire Survivors is a good laugh. Like that beating fucking Elden Ring to a BAFTA.
Yeah, or Zelda.
Honestly, that's a black mark in history. That will go down honestly as a time. Like the people who were on that jury should be in hiding.
I think it was a Zelda, wasn't it? It was the news. I can't remember. I think it was the news.
Beat Elden Ring.
And Elden Ring. Yeah. I can remember.
That's the best game that's ever been made. Basically, a reskin slot machine won it. Go into hiding.
I remember. I think I've said this story before, but I remember having to go on the 10 o'clock news that night with minutes of prep to explain what Vampire Survivors was to an audience of millions of people who didn't even know what a video game is. So it's like, oh god, okay. So you play on.
To be fair, it's good. It's
great.
Game.
It's great.
It's a really good experience.
It's fun. It is fun. It does get your claws in you.
Is it better than Elden Ring? Absolutely. I would have loved to have been on that jury. I've been like. Be like Emperor's New Clothes in it, going like, "Are we joking? What's happening here?" Like,
one day we have to talk about the judging process for the BAFTAs because it's wild. I wasn't on that jury, I just want to say, but I have been on similar ones and have felt similarly.
Untitled Goose Game is in the top 100.
Oh, yeah, what
that's
a game.
fun.
Oh, yeah.
Firewatch, now that is a good game.
that's
If you haven't played
brilliant.
Firewatch,
Yeah,
also 6 hours. You can do Firewatch in 6-7 hours. It's amazing,
yeah.
and the actor is fantastic. Florence. Anyway, so there's a really good article there. Balatro talked about that a lot. Rocket League, technically, indie game. Anyway, I'm just listing names of games here. So what am I doing? So I'm going to move on. So let us know your favorite indie titles. There's loads out there. Just share them with us, get in the Discord and see what you think. And I wonder why you think all of a sudden it's sort of indie games having a particular moment. Is this actually more the way the games industry is going? Because to make a AAA game, it takes ages these days, and they're just sort of filling the gap. Who knows? Let us know what you think. Right, okay, it is now time for the Press X Biscuit Break, which is brought to you by Pickup. Now, we had a right old debate in the Discord recently, and I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you keep your pickups in the fridge or the cupboard? That's what the discussion was in the Discord. Should your biscuits go in the fridge or the cupboard? Gav, are you a fridge or a cupboard man?
depends on the biscuit. It depends on the biscuit, because I guess this is, what is it? So pickups are made of like shortbread-ish stuff, right?
There's like biscuit and chocolate in the middle, and different ones with different bits.
That'd be in the cupboard in my ass.
So you're a cupboard man.
That would
Shay,
be in
what
the
do you
cupboard,
say?
but as a treat, I might put them in the fridge as well. But mainly cupboard, I think.
I don't like cold things. I don't even like cold beverages, so cupboard always.
You're one of them. You're one of them.
Yeah, I don't.
Shay, you don't have a warm beer, do you?
Water. Oh, I mean, I'm a lady. I don't drink beer. But I warm water always. Even in the summer, everyone was like, "Do you want ice with that?" And I'm like,
You're
"No, thanks."
unwell. You're unwell.
Oh, I thought this was a safe space.
Shay, this is a safe space for some things.
Yeah.
But what you've done there is you crossed the line. You know?
Oh, I mean, all that like pressure on your teeth. Come on, guys, look after yourselves.
That is true.
This deserves another podcast.
I am getting a lot older now. Having just hit 40, I do have to start thinking about me teeth, me old gnashers.
Well, it was a big conversation in the Discord, right, about whether it should be fridge or cupboard. Hexana said, "Store your pickups in the cupboard, not the fridge. I can't tolerate people who keep chocolate in the fridge," he says. But then it is escalated with Demi Rob and then producer David coming out as Team Cupboard. Commander Jace, who we had earlier on, was an unpopular opinion, and then producer Owen coming out as Team Fridge. With some, like Palantum, doing a bit of both, mixing it up. So interesting, are you Team Fridge, Team Cupboard? Let us know. I mean, it's almost a bigger discussion as to whether or not people should buy a Switch 2. So it's kicking off in that. Now, we're going to give you a chance to win some pickups to decide whether or not you should put them in the fridge or in the cupboard by putting a trivia question in the Discord that you can then answer. That's why I've got a big box of them next to me, actually, because I'm sending out the first batch of winners.
By hand?
I'm not.
This is a grassroots operation. It's
I'm not
impressive.
hands delivering them. I'm just putting a stamp on and then
like the postcode lottery, knocking on the door
in a big red coat.
A box of biscuits. Actually,
yeah, you are. There's a pickup. Yeah, fantastic.
That'd be a hell of a social clip.
That would be a good social. Oh, and write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
Write that down. Let's hand deliver our pickup bars to our winners. Look, so this Thursday, so that is when this goes out, the 25th of September. Yes. There will be a question in the Discord. It goes in at 9 a.m. and then you've got 24 hours to get your answers in. It's a multiple choice, right? It's not the hardest question in the world. And then we pick a winner at random from those that gave us the right answer. And then one lucky sausage will win some pickup biscuits. So get yourselves in the Discord. Keep an eye out for the competition from Thursday to win some biscuits. And Gav and Shay, you can do the same. No preferential treatment here. You can do the same.
Love that.
Okay. So then, make sure you get involved. There's some salted caramels, some originals.
Wow.
And some of the choco milk ones up for grabs.
Ooh, chocolate milk. That'd be my preference.
Right then, Shay, time for a review then. First things first, how do you say the name of the game?
I'm still unsure. I've been saying 1000x resist. There are reports of 1,000 times resist. Our producer threw a spanner into the works, and now I'm like really doubting myself. What do we call this podcast? press cross to continue.
Nice.
We had this discussion in
We did.
2020 where we're not reopening that can of worms, Shay.
Well, you know, I in that case, I will leave it up to the audience how they want to say it. But 1000X Resist, I feel like it was a very, very much a sleeper hit from 2024. People who played it said that they loved it. It also like won a ton of awards, including a Peabody, which I feel like is a pretty big deal for a game made by such a small team.
Yeah.
It's a narrative like sci-fi RPG. It's very light on gameplay and mechanics outside of like some basic puzzles and 3D exploration. Where it shines is its story, and it's kind of hard to talk about the story without spoiling a bunch. So like the main premise is that the story takes place non-linearly, and you kind of experience it through these segments where you go back and forth between the past and the future, and you're playing through the memories of Iris, who was a teenager born to Hong Kong immigrants. Now, there's a lot of trauma that like her and her family have gone through, understandably. And if that wasn't enough, there's like an alien race that arrives and infects everyone with a virus, and all of her classmates succumb to it. And that's like the basic premise. I can't say any more without like spoiling everything. I think with games like this, it's very easy for them to fall into the category of like chocolate covered broccoli, where it's like you need to learn something and there's like a lesson to be gleaned from this. But it doesn't come across that way at all. It's really compelling. It's really creative with how it tells the story. It's really sharp and like funny in places, and then heartbreaking in others. You make some really difficult decisions. It's got everything that you'd expect from a narrative RPG, in terms of like the decision making. But yeah, it's very, very well done, very slick, very cool looking.
What does it look like? What are we talking visual style?
Visual style, oh my god, it's kind of hard to compare it to anything, but if you think kind of cyberpunky, sci-fi looking futuristic settings, that's sort of the expectation.
I'm just looking up. Okay, yeah, no, I see what you mean. It does look visually quite cool.
Yeah, it looks lush.
But it also doesn't look like anything else.
No, I know it's hard to describe it.
Yeah.
Because you could almost say it's a bit of sci-fi Zelda sort of.
Sort of. Yeah.
And so you're making tough choices, but you say it's quite light on gameplay. You're basically just pointing and running. Is that the idea? And then
basically, yeah. And then like there's some exploration elements. It's kind of clever with how it does that, because you're not just like running from A to B. Like there are parts where you kind of, it's almost like platforming, but you're kind of like falling in the sky, and then you got to like time it to like progress to the next area. And like those bits don't feel tedious. Sometimes with like games that are light on gameplay mechanics, it feels very tedious. I'm kind of like, let's just get back to the story. Whereas like these moments are brief enough and like they're not annoying.
So it's got a Metacritic score of 86. So it's clearly gone down well. You can get it for a 12 quid basically on Steam and the Nintendo Store. What would be your recommendation then, Shay, to someone listening to this who's interested? Buy it now, wait till it's cheaper again, don't bother. Who's it for?
Oh, I would definitely say buy it now. It's 30% off on Steam right now, because I think they're having a sale. The publisher is having a sale. So I'd say pick it up right now. Yeah.
So 1000x or 1000 times resist. And how did you get, because this totally passed me by, Shay. I was, how did you come across it?
What it is I was sick and tired of being humbled in Silksong. I was like, you know what? This is enough punishment. I want my gaming experiences to be fun, okay? So I put that down, and I was looking through my Steam library, and like I've had this on my list for ages. Also, like I love like really narrative-driven RPGs, and I don't know when Studio Zaum, the guys that made Disco Elysium, I don't know when their next game, Zero Parades, is coming out, and I like really was craving like a story-driven game, and so this just seemed like a no-brainer.
Yeah, interesting. Can you see yourself playing this, Gav?
I was generally like, because this is how I could do it. Go on howlongtobeat.com.
Yeah.
If it's over 12 hours, it's a no. It's a no from me.
What's it saying?
How long to beat? It's coming in at 11 hours.
Oh, just under that.
And it's 11 quid on Switch.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is pretty good. That's really, I mean, like, that's good. I've got a couple of flights coming up and I need something.
Yeah, pound an hour. That's pound an hour. fine.
Thing is, what they should do is sell games by the hour. That's what
Only
they should
12
do.
hours to finish.
yeah.
So you go £12 an hour, like, and then because I would put a tenner. Say like the big game. Say like a new game comes out, like, and you're like, because I want to play that Silent Hill F. But what if I don't like it? So if they were like, right, we'll give you 3 hours of Silent Hill F for a tenner. I'd be like, I'd actually do that, and then that tenner gets knocked off the full price.
Yeah,
if
you can
decide
make
to go
it's
for
like hiring
Hang
a
on,
car.
have we just saved video games?
I
How
think
do we
we might
know it?
have.
We've just come up with a business model that's going to save people's jobs there.
Wait, I think it's like, if you do like a hire purchase on a car, you pay a little bit off, and if you like it, you keep it, and you can buy the whole car. And if you don't like it, you give it back. Okay, you lose your money, but then you've tried it. Try before you buy.
I like
Phil
this. I like this
Spencer.
idea.
Write that down.
Yeah.
Write that down, Phil.
Phil, put it down.
Come on, Phil.
This could change games.
Yeah.
And you heard it here first on press X to continue. Press cross to continue. We had this conversation. Okay, right. We're coming to the end of the podcast now. We've got time for our big question. Now, neither of you have faced the big question before because this is quite a new feature we've got, which is basically where Owen and David, the producers, have been listening to the show.
Yeah.
And then they come up with a question based on what we've been talking about.
Oh.
Like a trivia question.
Not trivia,
or
more like
just
a
chat.
just a conversation starter based on
Chilled
what
out.
you've
Okay.
said in the podcast. And the question is
Fine.
this. You're on a train platform with Gav Murphy, and he may have recognised you as one of the BAFTA jury from 2023. You have a warm drink in your hand, and he has a wild look in his eye. What fragile cardboard device are you assembling at great expense to protect yourself, Shay?
Oh, God. I don't know.
Well, I'm assembling a giant scythe so I can keep him at bay. Or a barge pole.
Oh, I'd do a little dagger, actually.
What?
Or bring him in close.
Yeah.
And then get him.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fine.
Very good. Gav, what would you do if you saw yourself on a platform and you were in that jury?
And I was on the jury.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've thought about that jury more than they have, to be fair, for the past 3 years or whatever it was. I feel hopefully they're having words with themselves every single day. So I'm assuming they would just come up and go, "Hey man, I know you on RKG, you play a lot of FromSoft games and they mean a lot to you. And I just want to apologize. I let you down. I let you down by voting for what is essentially a fruit machine over one of the best written narrative experiences, game, art, culture, film ever. We let you down. We let you down there because we thought it'd be a bit silly to vote for Vampire Survivors.
I quite enjoy Vampire
That's what I think that I would say.
If that happens, Gav, then please let us know about it. Right then, and if you were on that jury, don't worry, he doesn't know who you are. It's all anonymous.
Yeah, it's all anonymous.
It's fine. And when he was talking about Red Dead, that was strictly in-game style behaviour from him, right? It's fine.
Absolutely not.
Now, time to reveal the answer to this week's trivia question then. So let's have the question from Einel once again. Here he is, Quizmaster Einel.
All right, it's trivia time. Before the fourth game in their series was released the following December, which video game character delivered the ball to the pitch before Manchester City's first match of the season in August 1999 to celebrate the game's publisher becoming the club's new shirt sponsor?
Any raises? I'm saying Lara Croft because I knew that.
I said it first. I don't know if you
Well, yeah,
remember.
but I knew it, but I was giving you the chance.
I don't know if you remember, but I actually did say it first. So
Shay, what are you saying?
I thought Sonic and Sega, and I don't feel like that's correct, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay, right. The answer to the question from Quizmaster Einel Tomlinson. Here we go.
The answer is Lara Croft. Eidos had signed a $2 million deal to sponsor Manchester City's shirts in August 1999, and part of the deal was Lara Croft would appear in a photo shoot with the new signings during the summer. She then made an appearance before they lost to the Wolves on the opening day of the season. Producer David was at this game and remembers Lara parachuting in, but he can't find any evidence online that it actually happened. He was 11 at the time. Take it with a pinch of salt. Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation came out in Europe 4 months later.
Well, there we are, Lara Croft. I remember the Eidos branding.
Yeah, it looked lovely. It looked really nice.
It was much cooler than the Dreamcast on the Arsenal shirts, I felt.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is like sponsors back then were just better anyway. Now it's just like vapes and gambling sites.
Yeah. It's so bad. But I wonder how tasteful it was. I'm not sure. Right, that result means that Gav, you are now joint with Shay on 33%.
Yes.
You both got 33.3% of your questions.
Fantastic.
And I am down on 27.1, still behind Einel. Producer David's message just to say, no, it was not tasteful at all.
Oh no! I've just gone to see I've just gone to look up a picture, and this doesn't. Oh god, this is.
Is it very 90s? Is it very 90s?
It's not great, but hey, it was the 90s.
It's not ideal.
Okay, well, anyway. Good trivia question. Thank you very much for that. Now, you can suggest your trivia questions in the Discord. There's a special group chat that me and Einel cannot see, so you can get your suggestions in there. And that is it for this episode of Press X. Remember, you can find us on Press X Pod on TikTok, Press X Podcast on Instagram. And if you comment on the post, we try and add you into the Discord. There's a link as well to the server below. We're going to be back on Tuesday for more fun with the OG Press X members while Einel is away doing his acting thing, Shay and Gav, and we will see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
Bye.